Welcome to Hormone Health for Real Life. We're Jennah and Jen, and we are so glad you're here.
If you've been searching for answers, looking for hope, or wondering why your body isn't responding the way it used to, you're in the right place. We believe our bodies are designed to heal.
Remember that this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not replace professional medical advice.
Now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to today's podcast. Today, you are going to learn some simple methods from two different modalities to help you on your journey to hormone balance. We're going to talk through these pressure points today. And when you put them all together, it might take you a few tries to learn them, but when you put them all together, you can do them all in about 5 minutes. That's why we're calling this the 5-minute hormone reset using foot zone therapy and acupressure. Now, as I'm describing these, you might be thinking, I need a picture. We have a picture of each of these little pressure points for you. Check the show notes, and we have a free PDF that you can download and look at all the pictures, and it will be really helpful for you moving forward. It's something that you can keep handy and learn some really cool methods to help reset your hormones. So this is Jennah here, and you may have heard me talk about being a foot zone therapist. I love foot zone therapy, and a lot of people might ask, what in the world is foot zone therapy? They know what acupressure is and they know what massage is. It's kind of like massage and acupressure, but it's really its own unique thing. It's a practice based on the idea that the feet contain mapped reflex points corresponding to every organ, gland, and system of the body. What I do is people come in to my office and I use gentle pressure and specific techniques on these points to support the body's natural ability to restore balance. And this is something I really, really love doing. It takes a lot of training and practice to get to where I'm at, but there are foot zone maps and you can look them up and see where certain organs and glands are located on the feet. We'll talk a little bit about that today. I do also love acupressure, but it is different than foot zone therapy. Acupressure is based on the principle of points of activation along acupuncture meridians or rivers of light. When the energy is flowing correctly through the body, our organs and glands should be energized. If they're blocked in any way, then there's an imbalance of energy. With acupressure, we activate specific points along the meridians, and that just helps reduce pain, increase energy. It's really useful to have a few basic acupressure moves in your tool belt. It really is just a quick but effective reset any time of day. These are things that I love to do either first thing in the morning or at night. Today, in this podcast episode, we are going to be talking specifically about points on the feet with foot zone therapy and acupressure points that help hormone balance. That's the focus of today's learning. When you stimulate them, then they in turn stimulate the body into action in different ways, and they help balance out the hormones. Let's just jump right in. For general hormone balance, there are 4 places on the foot that are really effective to stimulate, 2 on each foot. So if you were to reach down and grab your ankle, your hand is coming in from the back side of your leg and you're just grabbing your ankle bone. Where your thumb is and where your finger are holding your ankle bone are 2 really important hormone areas. So it's like the flat part of the ankle bone on the inside, or we say medial side of the foot, and the flat part of the ankle bone on the lateral or the outside of the foot. And then you've, of course, got those 2 points on the other foot, right foot and left foot. So these 4 areas correspond to hormone regulation, kind of in general. They specifically help estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. When you stimulate them, of course, they're going to help to balance. And so you want to spend at least 30 seconds rubbing each area. If these areas feel a little bit tender, then that's just a signal. That's your body telling you that these hormones need some balancing. And rubbing them out and stimulating them will alert your body to the fact that it needs to go work on these hormones. Your body is a master at survival. It will keep you alive under the craziest circumstances. You might be living in a hormone mess and be wondering, why isn't my body healing that? Well, it's focusing on making sure your heart is beating, and your brain is thinking and you're breathing. So those are the things that it's got to focus on the most. We're going to give your body the signals to alert it that, hey, we're ready to work on this hormone balance. Those are the first 4 areas to work on within foot zone therapy that will help to stimulate the hormone areas and then, of course, lead to balance. Another really interesting thing to consider when you're talking about hormone balance is the Achilles tendon. A lot of women, especially in perimenopause between 35 and 55, their Achilles tendon will become sore. If this has happened to you, that's also a signal that estrogen might be low. Estrogen helps our collagen production. Tendons are made from collagen, and the Achilles tendon is the largest tendon in our bodies. And so it's telling you, as the largest tendon, that when it's tight and sore, it might not be getting all the collagen it needs. And so you might be tempted to just go take some collagen, which is great and can be helpful. But what it means is that you've got low estrogen. Rubbing out the Achilles tendons and putting a little oil or a little nice soothing salve or cream on there, it'll feel really good and it'll be helpful. It'll alert the body, of course, that you need to fix your estrogen, but then you can work on balance your estrogen through cycle syncing, which we talk about in previous episodes. Now, when we're talking about hormones, we have to consider the liver. The liver is vital when it comes to hormone regulation. It helps metabolize and eliminate excess hormones, especially estrogen from the body. When the liver function is impaired or overburdened, because the liver has so many things that it needs to do for your body, it can get overburdened. Hormones tend to be recycled rather than excreted, which is what should happen when you have excess hormone. This can contribute to estrogen dominance or PMS or irregular cycles, mood changes, and just other hormone-related symptoms. Rubbing the pressure points and massaging the liver area on the foot will help keep it moving the way it needs to for optimal health. For the acupressure point, you're going to find the liver 6 point, located in a divot on the inside of your lower leg, about halfway between your ankle and knee. What I like to do is take my fingers and just start running them down the bone of my lower leg, and about halfway into the calf muscle, you'll feel a divot. It's probably going to be a little bit tender. This is a liver point. It's called liver 6, and it can help stimulate your liver to remove excess hormones. This is especially helpful when estrogen peaks during phase 2 of your cycle. All the hormones are high, and they're supposed to be high, and it's okay that they're high, but this is also why we eat salads and why our exercise should increase during that time, is to help metabolize and quote unquote burn off excess estrogen. If you feel overly emotional or you just feel like you're off, this is a really good point to tap into. Liver 6. Remember, with everything that we talk about, you can click in the show notes and you can get a PDF explaining all this to you. It's also available in our ebook, Realizing the Gift of Womanhood. You'll be able to also find a link to that book in our show notes. Now, talking about the liver with regard to foot zone therapy. So the liver area is on the bottom of your foot, but it's only on the right foot because the liver sits on the right side of your body. You'll find it immediately below the ball of your foot on the lateral side. So you've got your toes, and then you've got the pad or the ball of your foot right under your toes, and then you're going under that. The area is triangular, so it goes down along the lateral or the outside edge of your foot, under your pinky toe. It would be about 3 finger widths under the base of your pinky toe. If you want to look at it that way, you can. And it moves into the middle of your foot in a triangular pattern. You'll want to go check out the PDF so you can look at it. You can go ahead and rub that to stimulate your liver. Sometimes it's hard to get to the bottom of your foot and rub out these areas. So this is why a lot of people go to someone else for foot zone therapy. However, you can totally do it on yourself, but you can get a tennis ball or something like a tennis ball that's going to push back and give some good pressure. I actually like to use a spiky massage ball. You can buy them online. They're like hard plastic and they're full of spikes, and you can just rub your foot on them, and it can be a little bit tender, but you can totally control the pressure. I know they sell laundry balls that are a little bit smaller and not quite as hard. A lot of people like to use the spiky laundry balls for this type of thing. I just have one underneath my chair in my bedroom, and at the end of the day, when I sit down, I'm kind of reviewing my day and chatting with my husband, I will pull that spiky ball out and just sit and rub the bottom of my feet and try to hit these hormone areas. So those are the two big areas for the liver. Now let's talk about thyroid stimulation. A lot of you may be thinking, oh yeah, I've got thyroid issues, or I know somebody that has thyroid issues. The thyroid is so important when it comes to women's hormone health and men's hormone health. So these are points that women and men can use, although we're kind of focused on women in this podcast. Men can do all these same things, and it will be good for them as well. The thyroid hormones in women specifically influence ovulation, menstrual cycles, metabolism, and the production and clearance of estrogen and progesterone. So when the thyroid is underactive or overactive, it can contribute to hormone imbalances that may lead to irregular periods, fertility challenges, PMS symptoms, and for sure changes in mood and energy. So the first point that I'm going to give you is actually a kidney point. It's right below your collarbones. It's called K27. The K27 points are below your collarbones and adjacent to your sternum, which is also known as your breastbone. You may find this area to be a little tender. What I like to do is put my fingertips on my collarbones, come down underneath them where you're more in the fleshy area, right underneath, and then slide down toward your sternum or your breastbone. You'll feel a little divot. That is K27. All of your pressure points in acupressure are going to be in little divots. You'll slide into them. And so that's a nice little tip to remember as you're trying to find different pressure points. You might find this a little bit tender. It's considered a place where the flow of energy gathers in your body. This point specifically helps to relieve pain and tension in the throat, which is where your thyroid sits, in your back, and in your chest. So it also increases your brain's endorphin levels. So it's a really good thing to do if you are just feeling like you need a little boost during the day. It can also help with immunity. It's just a really great pressure point to know. And while you're up by your neck, you can grab your voice box. If you're talking or humming, you can feel it vibrating. Your thyroid sits right there close to your voice box. And you can just gently, very, very gently rock your voice box back and forth, maybe 4 or 5 times. You don't want to do it too much. It might make you feel a little bit weird. You really do want to be gentle, I promise. And that will also stimulate your thyroid. You might hear little clicks and pops. You might feel them more than hear them. And that's a sign that your thyroid is maybe a little imbalanced. And so every day you can just rock it back and forth a little bit. That's just stimulating it into action and letting your brain know, hey, let's go work on the thyroid. In foot zone therapy, your thyroid is going to be found on the bottom of your foot. It's located on the ball of the foot, right below the big toe. So not on the big toe, but right underneath it. And you'll want to always do both sides, the right side and the left side. As you're working this area, just rubbing it and massaging it, it might feel a little bit crackly or crunchy. And you just rub it consistently every night for 30 seconds or so to work it out. This is an area where oftentimes women have persistent skin cracks or calluses form here. A lot of times these skin cracks and calluses over certain areas of the foot, they're a signal to your body that that area of your foot is stressed out in some way. If you have any skin cracks or calluses and you start balancing your thyroid several months down the road, you'll see that those calluses and skin cracks actually start to clear up. It's really cool. It's very fascinating. So listen to those signals in your body. And again, you can use your hand to massage this area. Somebody else could do it for you. You can use a tennis ball or a spiky massage ball or something like that to just rub it and give it as much pressure as you're comfortable giving it. It's okay to really dig in there. When I first started getting foot zoned, this area on me was really tender. And I wouldn't have said that I had thyroid issues, but I realized that my thyroid probably was more stressed than I realized it was. And now I can rub it or have it rubbed. And in recent years, it's just been doing so much better. It doesn't hurt nearly as bad. And so that tells me that my thyroid is more balanced now. All right, let's move on to the adrenals. We live in a world of so much stress. Jen and I talk about rushing women syndrome. You've probably heard of fight or flight or fight, flight, or freeze. We live in a world where quite often it's very hard to relax and we feel like we have to always be on. And that can get very draining. And our adrenal glands take a toll when that's the case. So the first thing you can do is take deep breaths and learn to calm down. And there's a lot of things you can do to help your body feel safe and come out of fight or flight, even if you feel like you're not in fight or flight. However, there's some really good acupressure points and a place on your feet that I'm going to teach you. The adrenal glands produce precursor hormones like DHEA that is used to make estrogen and progesterone and testosterone. So during times of chronic stress, and if your stress is constantly raised, then the body's demand for stress hormones can affect the production and balance of these sex hormones. And then in turn, it's like a big domino effect. So that can contribute to fatigue and irregular cycles and PMS and low libido, any other symptoms really associated with perimenopause and menopause, things that you're like, why am I having hot flashes? Why can't I sleep? So it could be coming back to the adrenals. The first acupressure point is very, very simple. It's on your ear, and it's just the little flap right in front of your ear. You can grab it with 2 fingers, but you can even just press and rub. I'm using my pointer fingers right now and just rubbing this little flap on my ear. It's a quick, easy way to help you calm down and rebalance your adrenals. If you have a child that's screaming or anyone that's mad and you're able to talk them into rubbing this part of their ears, it will stimulate those adrenals to start to rebalance. Just go ahead and try it right now. It's really fun. You'll find it very soothing. And it's a quick, easy way to help you calm down. Another adrenal release point. This isn't actually acupressure. This is just a point near your adrenals, and it's going to relax the tissues and muscles surrounding where your adrenals are. You put your fingertips from both hands into your belly button with your hands flat on your belly. And then you pull them out away from each other or laterally. So toward the sides of your body, pull them out 1 inch from your belly button, which is about 2.5 centimeters. Then you move them up toward your head, up your torso, 1 inch or 2.5 centimeters. That's about the area that you'll want to press in and massage. Go ahead and try it. Pull out from your belly button 1 inch and then up 1 inch and press. It's an inch or so under your rib cage. And when you press in, you're going to come up against a little bit of pressure. That's the area where you'll want to press in and massage. You'll feel a little resistance at first, but then if you keep going after about 30 seconds, you'll feel yourself relax. It's really, really awesome. You can do the same thing on your back. So imagine the same area just on your back, and you can massage it as well. If you put your hands flat on your back with your fingertips touching, imagine a line going from your belly button through your body to the back, and you just try to kind of find that point. And then again, you'd move your hands 1 inch apart from each other, 1 inch up, and you rub in, and that's about the area where your adrenals actually sit. They sit right on top of your kidneys. If you're thinking, oh, this is my kidney area, yeah, you're exactly right. Your kidneys and adrenals are right next to each other. So you can massage the points on your back as well. By massaging those, you're just going to stimulate those adrenals to release and relax. And it's wonderful. Now, as far as a foot zone goes, when I work on the adrenal area on the foot, you're going to want to work on both feet because there is an adrenal on each side of your body. So that means the adrenal area shows up on each foot. And that area is located about 2 finger widths below the ball of the big toe. So we were just talking about the thyroid a minute ago. The thyroid is on the ball of the big toe. Put 2 fingers under the ball of the big toe, and then right under that is where the adrenal is. You are going to feel, if you're in the right spot, a little nodule. And that is likely your adrenal gland. And you might even feel it click or pop as you rub over it. And that's okay. You actually want it to click or pop because it's a gland. And when it clicks or pops, it means that we're opening it up. So do it on both feet. Remember, you've got the ball of the big toe, which is on the inside or the medial side of your foot. 2 finger widths under that. Right above the middle of the arch of your foot is where we're at. That's the adrenal gland. And again, you can use your hand or you can use a tennis ball or a spiky massage ball to hit that area and stimulate it. We're going to talk about the spleen for just a second. It's not usually talked about in regards to hormone health, although our entire body is interconnected for sure. The spleen is considered central to maintaining energy, nourishing the blood, and it does help prevent patterns of hormone imbalance that are associated with fatigue, irregular cycles, and heavy menstrual bleeding. It does tie in a little bit, and I want to teach you a cool acupressure point. This is a really good point to know if heavy menstrual bleeding is an issue. Actually, it will slow any heavy bleeding affecting the body. We often use it for heavy nosebleeds, and it works really well. Obviously, with really heavy bleeding, you'd want to be seeking medical help. But if you're just slow bleeding somewhere on the body, you can use this to help slow the flow. Located 3 inches below the inside of the knee, just behind the shin bone. Basically, you find the bottom of the knee joint, and 3 inches is typically about 4 finger widths. What I like to do is actually just start with my thumb rubbing down the inside of my shin bone, and about 3 inches down, you'll feel a divot. Remember, we like to feel divots when it comes to acupressure points, and it presses in behind the shin bone. That is spleen 8. If heavy menstrual bleeding is an issue, go ahead and stimulate this area. That'll help meter the flow of your menstrual bleeding. There's another one, spleen 10, which is higher up. It's actually above your knee. If you just take a line up from spleen 8 and go up past your knee, it's 2 to 3 finger widths above the inside of the kneecap, and you'll feel another little divot right there. That is spleen 10. Please go find our PDF that teaches you about these pressure points so you can have a visual picture of it. We are going to talk about one more super important gland for today. It's the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is the body's master gland. It produces hormones that signal the ovaries to produce estrogen and progesterone. It regulates ovulation and the menstrual cycle. We want the pituitary to be happy, and when its signaling is disrupted, then again, you can get the irregular cycles and fertility issues and broader hormone imbalances. So we want to keep the pituitary happy. We have a couple really simple things that you can do. As far as foot zone therapy is concerned, the pituitary is located in the big toe. If you want to know exactly where, you know how you have a fingerprint? The fingerprint has all these irregular shaped circles that come together into a single point. And sometimes that point even pops out on your thumb. Sometimes it's easy to see on your thumb. Your toes have those same print identifiers. So where that little pop out is exactly where the pituitary gland is. You can just rub your big toes. You can rub all your toes. It'll feel good. They all pertain to your brain. Specifically for the pituitary gland, rubbing the toes really good and giving it lots of pressure is going to be very helpful to stimulate the pituitary. And guess what? You can also rub your thumb. So that's a good thing to do before bed. And it's a good thing for kids too, or for anybody who can't sleep or anyone who you're trying to calm down. You can rub this because the pineal gland is also in your brain, and we're stimulating that gland when we rub the entire pad of the big toe. There's a reason why we do foot zoning on the foot, is because the nerves that we're stimulating are a little bit more sensitive than the nerves on our hands, but the entire body is also mapped out in our hands. Not everything translates exactly from the foot to the hands. Things are in different places, but as far as the pituitary and the pineal go, they're located basically in the same place of your hands, which is the pad of your thumb. And so if it's easier for you to just rub the pad of your thumb really, really good, it's a nice way to stimulate that pituitary gland. The tennis ball isn't quite as effective on the toes, I don't think, but the spiky ball is really nice on the toes, so that's a good way to do it too. Your brain might be swimming with all this information now. You might be thinking this sounds overwhelming. Like you just gave me this whole pile of pressure points to work on. It's one more thing to do. Before you get overwhelmed, maybe you can pick one that resonated with you and just get really good at that one. And then you can add another one and add another one. And if you get the PDF, you'll have pictures of everything. It'll make it nice. Or if you get our ebook, these are all explained in the ebook, Realizing the Gift of Womanhood, along with lots of other things about balancing your hormones. So that's a good way to go as well. We also go into depth in these in Hormone Reset Boot Camp, which is a course that we have online, and you're welcome to take a look at that and see if that's a good fit. What I just taught you are just a few pressure points out of so many in your body. This is just getting started, but also starting to shift the hormones and hopefully shifting the hormones to more balance, which is exactly what we're after. And if you could do that in just a few minutes a day, it might be worth adding one more thing. I just like to add it to my routine when I'm getting ready for bed. It's an easy time for me to quickly rub some of these pressure points and also prepare me to sleep better and just to feel better overall. Jen and I also talk about getting outside every morning and getting your feet in the lawn, getting the sunshine, deep breathing. This is a really good time to maybe hit some of the pressure points when you're having a prayerful or meditative moment starting your day. It's a great time to do it too. And anytime you feel stressed out during the day, you can also stop and do some of these pressure points. Maybe just fit them into what's already happening and just pick the ones that resonated the most with you to get started with. Just remember though, while these points can be a powerful tool for wellness, they are most effective when they're combined with healthy lifestyle habits. There's no single technique out there that can overcome the effects of chronic stress, poor nutrition, or lack of self-care. It's funny because I've had people come to me and say, fix me. I hope you can fix me. Or they have all this hope that foot zoning or acupressure is going to take care of everything. What I like to do is, first of all, I chuckle with them for a minute because they get it. They're looking for answers, and hopefully I can be a piece in the puzzle. In talking to them, I let them know exactly that this is a piece in the puzzle, but there are a lot of pieces that are trying to fit together for your overall health. You can't have a bunch of bad habits and then expect something like this to just heal you. Make this a new habit as you move forward with a new lifestyle, doing other good things that are going to be helping your body. As you work each area, remember to breathe deeply and approach your body with mindfulness and gratitude when you do it. This intentional, relaxed state can help make your practice of these pressure points even more beneficial. And if you want to add essential oils, do that. I hope these points really helped you out and you're ready to go try them out and help your body get working better together by adding some methods from both foot zoning and acupressure to help you on your journey to hormone balance. If you're consistent, they really can start to make a difference. So best of luck.